Be anxious for nothing. Be anxious for nothing. Being anxious for situations that we know that haven't taken place, a future that hasn't taken place yet, a future that is non-existent. When we're anxious, we're always anxious. We're always upbeat about what's next, right? We always think about what's next in our lives. What's the next step to our goals? What's the next relationship? What's the next obstacle? What's the next reality, right? God tells us in Philippians 4 verse 6 that to be anxious for nothing, but in all supplication and bring your prayer request and thanksgiving unto God, right? Philippians 4 and 6. I don't know if I said that right, but supplication of your prayer request. Think about this. What is the point of being anxious, right? What is the point of being anxious when we have God? Because God's going to give us that comfort, that peace, that regardless of what happens on the morrow, first of all, tomorrow is not promised. But second of all, tomorrow is non-existent. Just like the next minute after that, and the next minute after that are non-existent. The next hour, the next month, we don't know. Because every moment is new. And every new thing is fresh. So while we're getting up and tired, and we're always on go mode on what's next, and we're always worried about what's going to happen the next day, especially situations that we know that we can't control. Just let God do his thing, because if it's for you, it's going to happen. I remember I was talking to one of my homeboys at school, and he was telling me that he had a job interview the next day. And I was like, I was asking what job and and all that stuff. He was telling me, he was like, man, I'm super worried about this interview. And I was like, what credentials, what skills, like how are you going to present yourself, right? How are you going to present yourself for the interview? Because that's what that's probably the biggest thing that matters, right? And he was telling me how, he was worried about the questions that they were going to ask. He was worried if he had the experience, if he had the skills, if he had the the work ethic to do that job. But he was interested in the job, right? So this is what I told him. I was like, look, if it's for you, God will bless you. If it's for his will for your life, then it will be for you, right? I talked to this guy today, and he's just now getting into the church. And he visited this congregation, and I've never been there before. But I told him, I was like, look, this is the biggest thing about visiting and meeting and getting to know congregations and everything. The biggest thing is you got to know what doctrine they're preaching, right? And he was worried more so, how how the church was gonna make him feel when he went there, right? He was anxious about, the situation that he was about to get himself into, as far as, visiting the church and, getting to know God and growing towards God. He's anxious and he's fearful of, what God has in store for him. And I had to let him know, like, look, bro, whatever situation you're in, if you allow God to use you, if you allow God to influence you, if you allow God to work in your life, he will put you in the right church, the right situation, regardless of what it is. Worrying and being anxious is a sin. It's a sin. It actually says in the Bible, it's a sin. I don't know what book, chapter, verse. If y'all are still watching up to this point, though, comment down below what verse and chapter it is. I'm gonna be sure to pin it. But anyway, I told him, like, look, man, don't worry about it. God got you. Allow him to work in your life, and you got me to talk to as a brother who's been in the Word for over a decade. Or my bad, a little less than a decade. So I had to let him know, like, man, I'm gonna be there for you. Like, I have wisdom, I have knowledge about the Word. So it's like, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm here. God is here, you know. And so for those of y'all who are watching this up to this point, the biggest thing I want to tell you is do not be anxious. Do not be worried about what situations you're going through. Do not be worried about overthinking over a girl. Do not, or over a dude, over a relationship. Don't overthink life. Do not be anxious for life. You can be excited. I'm not saying you can't be excited. You can't be upbeat. You can't be like, yeah, man, I'm so excited for this. Like I'm ready. Like I'm ready to dive all in. Like slow your roll, pal. Slow your roll, my boy. God's gonna allow whatever it is for your life to happen if He allows it. That's what I'm saying. You have to allow Him to work. But before you can allow Him to work, there's got to be a change of heart and a change of mindset. You got to be allowing yourself to drop your physical body and to turn to God first. You have to turn to God first. Because you believing in God is not good enough. Believing in God is only an increment, right? Believing that there is a God, right? But then believing that there is one God, right? And so you take those steps and you continuously read and everything like that, and you will get to that point to where you will gain wisdom, you will gain understanding. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see next. I appreciate the love and support on the videos. We just hit 3,800 subscribers, 4,000 subscribers on the way. And also comment down below what y'all think about my hair. I did it myself. But yeah, man, I appreciate every single one of you. And as always, God bless.